Welcome back to First Take. The Celtics and the Sixers in a rivalry battle during the first round of the playoffs Saturday, and it was very one-sided. Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown combined for 51 points, and the C's never trailed. In fact, 12 players saw time in Boston's 32-point win over the 76ers in Game 1. Then in the West, the Thunder are trying to be the first NBA champ to win back-to-back years since the Warriors did it in 2017 and 2018. And to no one's surprise, their quest started off strong against the Suns. The Thunder got off to a fast start. They led by more than 20 at the break. SGA took the fourth quarter off, and yet OKC still won by 35 over the 8th seed in Phoenix. Jalen Williams scored 22. SGA had 25. Here's Jay Will postgame.
Like going into like game ones, being like, all right, let's just blow them out. You know, it's just more like, how hard can we play to set the tone for that? For us, not even for the Suns. It's like, let's set a tone of like what's expected from the first guy to the 15th man.
All right, Brian Windhorst back here with us on First Take. More impressive blowout. Was it the Thunder or was it the Celtics, Stephen A?
It's a hard call, believe it or not, because I'm in awe of the OKC Thunder and the well-oiled machine they are. There's just no dissipation. There's no drop-off in terms of their effectiveness, in terms of their energy, in terms of, you know, they don't walk around like they have something to prove. They just do it. You know, it's like it's almost nothing to them. They just do it. The Boston Celtics, however, to me, is the answer to this question. For Jayson Tatum to look the way that he's looking, Wendy, I mean, it's like they're just putting everybody on notice. A couple of years back, they won the championship. They beat Dallas. Last year, dropped off, got upset by the New York Knicks. They're just letting everybody know, you know what, that was an aberration. That ain't us. You understand? And they're playing like a team that wants the New York Knicks, you know, and want everybody. They want all the smoke. You know, Jaylen Brown's going to do what he did. He did it last night. And Jayson Tatum, you know, just continues to ascend and shows that he's getting healthy and finding his rhythm. They go to a 35-point lead. You got Coach Mazzulla playing all 12 players. 12 players rather. You just see this kind of stuff going on with them, and you're just saying, you know, Boston is clearly looking like the team to beat in the Eastern Conference, and they're putting everybody on notice. You know, they're on a collision course with the New York Knicks in the second round, and they intend to be ready and to make amends for what happened last week. That's the kind of message they sent to the Philadelphia 76ers. Whatever rivalry traditionally we have against this franchise, that is not the case this year. They are not on our level. Don't you think for a second that they are. Talking about the Sixers. That's what they did yesterday.
I don't love the way this question is framed, Shay, because it makes me have something negative to say about the other team, as if one was less impressive. But I think Oklahoma City was incredible yesterday. If you watch this game and the way this team played, I mean, well-oiled machine. Holy Moses. Like, tell me how someone's beaten them 4 out of 7. Now, look, you see something happen in April, things can be very different by mid-May, much less mid-June, okay? We all know that. We have experience watching playoff basketball. That's what the Thunder have as well. Stephen A., the points off turnovers in this game, and the reason I pick this obscure stat, points off turnovers, it's, you know, you can use a lot of different stats to make a lot of different cases, but the points off turnovers stat to tell you how the Thunder are functioning, because their entire strategy is based on having more possessions than the opposition. So when the points off turnovers is like the dipstick on how that's going. As you would say, I mean, damn. 34-2. 34-2. Everybody that they put on the court was in its exactly correct defensive position at all times. Every rotation was crisp. Sub, immediately come in. Defensive rotation crisp. One player is causing hell. They bring in another player. He causes hell. They bring in another player. He causes hell. I mean, it's incredible to watch. Their average margin of victory in the first round at home last season, in the West playoffs, was 29 points. They do this on the regular. They beat teams' heads in at the start of series to set the tone, as Jalen Williams just said. They've been doing it for years. They win by 35 yesterday. So you are exactly correct about Jayson Tatum. I thought Peyton Pritchard had a good game. The Celtics bench completely dominated the 76ers bench. It was 16-4 in three-point shooting. That is the centerpiece. That's the Celtics game plan. But when you talk about the way that the Thunder executed and how ready they are, fully healthy, they were extraordinarily impressive as a defending champ yesterday.
Well, I will say this. Over the last 8 games, Jayson Tatum is averaging 25, 11, and 7. That's what he's been doing. And this was his quote after the game. I'm still rehabbing.
Yes.
I still attack rehab every single day, except for when we have off days. He's still rehabbing. That's why I said what I'm saying, Wendy. I'm looking at Oklahoma City. It's incredibly impressive, but I'm thinking about a Phoenix Suns team that's ill-equipped to go up against them. And it is what it is. Not to say that Philly is equipped to go up against Boston, because we know that's not the case. But what we're looking for from Boston, in terms of viewing them as legitimate title contenders, whether or not Jayson Tatum would elevate to himself after tearing the Achilles. And that appears to be ahead of schedule. That's why I said Boston. I'm looking at them.
It felt like Jayson Tatum almost said this on purpose. Like, I'm still rehabbing. There's more in this tank. Like, don't be fooled now. Even
I tried to tell him to sit out. I did everything I could, Knicks fans.
And it's going nuts on social media. We'll dive into all of it. But speaking of nuts, Vince Goodwill and Monica McNutt, can we just feast our eyes on Victor Wembanyama's... He brought that off the rack, by the way. The Spurs showed up in all black last night for Game 1.
Business.
And just pick it up here. Monica, can you describe this move for us, please?
Well, technically it's an in-and-out spin, but I've never seen someone of that size do it so fluidly. I mean, just nice effort there, Denny Avdia and the rest of the Portland Trailblazers. Thank you for
Those guys hadn't seen it either, and David Robinson, Tim Duncan can't throw it up and throw it down. Vince, come on.
You can't defend that. All you can do is make sure you're not in the poster. That's pretty much the way.
2 minutes to play in the first half, and then Wembanyama says, oh, yeah, I can do this, too.
Greeny, the 5 of 6 on the three-point line just really stood out to me tonight. No matter what the Trailblazers tried to do, Big Vic had an answer.
He had 21 in the first half, and then Vince, look at the range.
What do? You get out the way. What's the point of contesting when he's 7'4"? He ain't gonna see your hand anyway.
Yeah, he hasn't been 7'4" since he was 9. He gets an inch taller every time I do a highlight. Wembanyama, 35 points. As Monica mentioned, 5 of 6 from 3, 5 boards, 2 blocks. Spurs win 111-98. They take Game 1, and Wemby steals the show. The 35 points, passing Tim Duncan's 32. For the most by a player in their first playoff game in San Antonio history. Those 5 threes, he's the first player ever with 35 points and 5 threes in their playoff debut. We will have all of your Game 1's NBA covered as the hour continues. But now to the NFL we go. 3 days from the NFL draft, and we have a developing story this morning. The entire crew is here.